What is going on, my fellow knife collectors and enthusiasts? Mental Health EDC guy here. So, I got a new knife yesterday, and I thought, why not? Let's talk about it, right? That's why I'm here. I like talking about knives. I like talking about sharp things. So, yeah, my buddy ended up trading for this Benchmade Freek for me. He was trying to trade one of his Spydercos, and then he traded for this because he knew I wanted one, and I ended up buying it off of him. Well, it finally showed up yesterday after a full week of waiting, and yeah, it's finally here. Now, normally, I'm not a huge fan of Benchmade. There's nothing wrong with the company, okay? I really love that they are made in America. American-made knives are always something that I love. Not that there's anything wrong with like a Chinese-made knife like We Knives, Sencut, Civivi, all amazing knife brands. But since I'm from America, I might as well, rep the American brands as well. So I have no issues with Benchmade. It's just there's a couple decisions when it comes to knife making that I don't necessarily agree with. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean much. I'm 22 years old. I have 200 followers or 200 subscribers on YouTube, 600 followers on TikTok. So my opinion means literally nothing. But this is a Benchmade I actually enjoy. At first, when I opened it up, I was like, I don't know. It was a little bit bigger, a little bit lighter than I imagined. But after carrying it for a full day, which I know is not a crazy amount of time, but after carrying it for a day, I actually found that I really like this. So this is the Benchmade Freek. The first thing that really catches my attention is the black and gray G10 scales. Right now, one thing with Benchmade, one reason why I don't like them is because typically they do the FRN scales or aluminum scales. Now, the aluminum I can get behind. The FRN, not so much. FRN, they just feel cheap. They're not as strong as G10 or micarta or hell, aluminum and titanium, right? But we're not talking about those. Those aren't even in the same bracket. That's like comparing apples to oranges. But I'm just not a huge fan of FRN. I don't know. I feel like that it's just a little bit too weak for a rugged carrier, which is what Benchmade's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the rugged brand, the brand you can take everywhere and do everything with it. So being able to have G10 on this does make it feel a slight bit better. Now that pattern is insane. I don't even know what you would call it. It's like a shredded black and gray design. I don't even know, but it's got nice texturing. Can you see that? I don't know if I can show that very well. It's got texturing. It's kind of like a wave going up and down here in a way, I guess. That's like the best way I can imagine to describe it. But I love this thing. Honestly, I can't even lie. The thumb studs, I do kind of find an issue with them. They're really sharp. I've been playing with it today. You can kind of see. I don't know if you can tell or not. Maybe I just have weak thumbs. I don't know. It's very possible. I do work outside, but I'm not one of those crazy construction workers. I don't work with my hands like they do. So maybe I just have weak thumbs, but these thumb studs do feel a little bit sharper than I would like them to be. But, I mean, that's really the only thing. Size-wise, I thought I wouldn't like it. I think this is almost like 9 inches long. I don't know the full specs about it yet. I figured I would just break down just first impressions today. But it's a bigger knife, and at first it took me a second to adjust to that, just because normally when you have something bigger, it's bulkier, but this one having the G10 scales, it's not nearly as heavy, which is really nice. One thing that I really like about this is those red G10 liners, I guess, because they're not the liners. This part's the liner, the metal part here. You can see it goes about halfway down-ish. Goes to this screw right here. So what, halfway down? I don't know if you would call that a liner or just some more red G10, but I think we need to see more companies doing this, in my opinion. Something that breaks up the design a little bit. Don't get me wrong, just a black and gray and then black blade would have looked great, but tossing that red in there? Now, don't get me wrong. My favorite colors are black and red, without question. So I am kind of biased when it comes to this colorway. But I don't know. I really think that it was really smart for them to add on an accenting color and then making the red back spacers. I was talking to a couple of people. The only issue that they have with the red, it's really not even an issue. It's just they should have made it a little bit more red. And I can agree to a certain extent. But they wanted the crossbar look red. Now, my issue with that is that after a while, that red's going to wear away, then it's going to be silver, right? It's the same issue with it just being straight black. So, yeah, you'll have the aesthetic for a little bit, but then at some point, you're going to take away from that aesthetic, right? So, in my opinion, I'm fine with the black hardware on the axis lock. That's just my opinion, though. Now, this is DLC coated. If I go for a coating, I really want it to be DLC. It's the most scratch-resistant coating they have right now, currently. And I would much rather have it be DLC than like Cerakote or PVD or anything like that. It is in M4 steel, and I love M4. A lot of people, from what I understand, compare it to MagnaCut. The biggest issue with comparing M4 to MagnaCut is M4 does not have corrosion resistance at all. This is my second blade from Benchmade that's M4 steel. And I haven't had any issues with the other ones, my Osborne that I was just mentioning in the beginning. I have no issues with corrosion on that one. But I know that if I left it in more of like a moist environment, like my car, for example. By the way, if you don't have a car knife, carry a car knife, okay? Just make your life a little bit easier. Carry a car knife. I promise you'll be a lot happier. Anyway, but what I did when I carried the Benchmade in the car for a week, maybe, I put mineral oil on it. Just to make sure that, because here's the thing, with M4 steel, yes, M4 does not have the best corrosion resistance. When it's DLC coated, all you have to worry about is the edge. That's it. Everything else is protected. And then maybe, if you close it, you can see how it's shiny there. I guess you'd have to worry about that too. But that's neither here nor there. So, but the nice thing about M4 is that it is super rugged. If you're going to take a blade outdoors and you have to take a folding pocket knife, M4 is the way to go, in my personal opinion. It's a lot harder. Now, that comes with its pros and cons, right? Because a lot harder of a blade steel means a lot harder to sharpen. MagnaCut is super easy to sharpen compared to M4. So that's definitely a big thing to consider, especially if you sharpen your own pocket knives, right? Now, the biggest thing I like about this, and you kind of already saw it, I'm sure, it's got the bronze washers in there instead, and I think that's really cool. Because when you want a hardworking knife, you don't want bearings. You don't want dirt and mud and gunk getting up in there and screwing up the bearings and screwing up the action, right? So having those bronze phosphorus washers in there is going to make this a lot more of a hard-working knife. As you can see, I do still have the freaking pocket clip on it. I don't know if I'll take it off. But yeah, everyone knows I hate pocket clips, and if you don't, you do now. People have asked me why I don't like pocket clips. Honestly, the reason for me is it messes with ergonomics really bad. At least my hands, maybe I'm holding a knife wrong, but having it just dig into your palm there, because like holding this knife specifically, the pocket clip doesn't dig in, but it definitely messes with right there. And I don't know, I'd much rather just like a clean handle. So call me weird, but that's just, I don't know, it's just what I prefer. The axis lock on this seems super strong. Insanely strong. And I love this thwack. Just listen to this. That's insane. That is so loud. I've been doing that all day, and I really need to stop because I'm sure that's bad for the stop pin here. But I've been doing it all day, and I haven't had any issues so far. But I'm sure over time, we're going to have that long-term abuse on it, and then it's going to start bending. Because obviously, after a while, hard use on metal, the metal's going to give way eventually, right? But no, I absolutely love this thing. There's a little bit of a choil here. I think that's really cool, but don't really rely on it to actually do anything for you. I don't know exactly why they would have that there. I'm not quite sure what purpose that would serve, because putting your finger there, I'm right on the cutting edge. I'm pretty close. So that does have really nice jimping here, though. It's not too aggressive. Something perfect for your place to sit. Your thumb is not going anywhere unless you want it to, right? Let's see. I really like the ergonomics of the handle. Being able to have that little finger groove there and then a tiny swell here for like in between your fingers to sit. I think that is so smart. And this knife is super comfortable in the hand. Super comfortable. I like something that I found that I really actually strive for in my knives is a kind of a flat bottom. The reason for that is like when you're holding it and you need to penetrate something, whether it be maliciously or non-maliciously, whichever way that you need it for, it's a great place to put your thumb that's not going to go anywhere. Right. And then having the finger groove here and then having this swell up here, this little choke, I guess, or this, it's not a groove, but we'll call it a swell. I don't know what it's called. So please tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but really gives you a good grip on it. Like I said, if you have to drill a hole in a tree or whatever you may need to do, I've noticed that I gravitate more towards a flat bottom. And that's why, a lot of my knives that I carry are like that. Some of them aren't, obviously, right? Beggars can't be choosers. You're not going to get that all the time. It's just something I prefer to strive for. One thing that I also really like, and this may seem dumb and stupid to some people, but having it one side be like the normal, like just the pin itself, and then the other side be the screws. I really like that because I imagine what that's going to do is it's going to stop these from free spinning. I've noticed that with a couple of them, like my Demco AD20.5. I was taking it apart and putting it back together. Speaking of which, if you haven't watched that video on my YouTube, go watch this one next. Or go watch that one next. But I was putting it back together and I noticed that the spacers in the middle were spinning. And I was like, that's not good. And so that got a little frustrating for sure. But I think that's really cool. That way it kind of makes it easier to take this apart if you ever need to. Let's see, what else? Is there anything really to say about this knife? I don't really think so. I think we got a pretty good rough breakdown just from looks alone. Look at the pocket clip there. If you are a big fan of pocket clips, I really like this one because it's not like a pointed edge on the bottom there. So it's not really going to fight with your pocket. That's really convenient in my opinion. But yeah, so that's the Benchmade Freek. I believe, I don't know if it's called the Super Freek or people just call it the Super Freek. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But this is the Benchmade Freek. I absolutely love this thing. I'm going to carry it more and develop a better opinion on it, do a little research on it, and then I'll be doing a full breakdown of it eventually. But thank you guys so much for watching my quick little review of the Benchmade Freek and M4 steel and G10 scales. Make sure to follow me on my other socials, TikTok and Instagram, same handle, MentalHealthEDCGuy. If you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, please consider dropping a subscription on my YouTube channel, not anything else. I mean, if you do choose to do anything else, just keep that to yourself. But please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to do one long video a day, whether it be like a knife review, a knife sharpening video, whatever it may be. I'm trying to do at least one a day. I am still working a full-time job, so it's harder to be able to do multiple long videos at a time, right? Because sometimes a guy wants to relax. God forbid, right? But thank you guys again so much for watching. Be sure to share my videos if you like the content, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.